Hi BookTube. I'm here with a new thing now. I decided to do like a weekly comic wrap up. I'm gonna do a monthly one at the end too, just for this month because I kind of did a really cheap one and during my Friday reads where I just listed off the titles. But here I want to go into a bit more depth. And sorry, I'm not going to be editing these. These are like Friday reads for comics for me, so. First up, I finished Heroworship. I read all the current issues. Unfortunately, it won't be continuing. It left on a cliffhanger too, which kind of sucks. I'm trying to hold it so you don't get the glare from the window there. So this is about kind of like the PR teams behind superheroes. So we have these two superheroes here, and this guy initially was a fan of this guy, and then he got the powers. And they're kind of being controlled by public relations to kind of give the superheroes a good name, and it's really an interesting look at superheroes. Then I finished reading her Infernal Dissent, issues number 2 to 6. This is about a woman who is looking for her family in hell, and it kind of mimics Dante's Inferno, and her guides are William Blake, and Agatha Christie. It started out really cool. The first issue was all about limbo, and I thought there'd be 9 issues for the 9 circles of hell, or maybe 10 issues, so that, you know, it could wrap it up. But it was only 6 issues, and some of the circles of hell only got like 1 page. There wasn't really a lot explained, so it felt kind of really rushed, but the art is really cool. And I really liked all the references, like Andy Warhol was in it, and David Foster Wallace, and Edgar Allan Poe, like a whole bunch of really cool people from art. Yeah. And then I read the first issue of Crowded. This is an Image comic. I meant to say there. Heroworship is from Aftershock. Her Infernal Dissent is Aftershock. Crowded is Image. And this is like kind of taking the idea of all these ways to do jobs like Airbnb and Uber, and there's like that new Skillshare or whatever it's called. So like using the internet to do jobs, but then also using the internet to crowdfund a payoff, a reward for assassinating a certain person. And this is the target. There's been over $1 million raised to assassinate her. Whoever assassinates her gets that money. And then she hires this bodyguard, and the bodyguard's trying to figure out, like, why do people want to kill you? You seem like a really normal person. Yeah, I'm really excited to continue on with that. But I am currently reading this Testament by a whole bunch of people, and this is Vertigo. And what this is about is quite complicated. So we have the past, which is biblical stories, kind of tweaked a bit, and the present, which is kind of mimicking the past, but with like technology and robots and all sorts of cool stuff. And then the gods are interfering. So we have, this is supposed to be the one true god, but he's named something weird. And then we have Ishtar and Moloch are the other major gods, but these other gods are starting to come in more and more now. So there's the Bible stories from the Old Testament so far. And then the current story is about the world is trying to come together, but there's parts of the United States that are resisting because they want to not be under one world government. They want, country governments, not one world government. And there's also a draft going on, so all the young people have these chips in their arms, and when their time comes to be soldiers, it'll get activated and they'll have to report for duty. Yeah, it's quite interesting. And that's the comics I'm reading. This, as I said, this is the complete Testament. It's 533 pages. I think I'm like 200 pages in. So I'll be continuing to read that. So those are the comics I read this week. Let me know what comics you've read, and if you've read any of these and what you think of them. And thank you for watching.